I'm telling you guys, my soon-to-be sister-in-law, my brother's fiancée, is cheating on him, but she doesn't ever get caught, and my own brother won't believe a word that I'm saying. So you know what? I'll just get the evidence that he needs, because he doesn't plan on signing a prenup, and I'm telling you, she's going for his money.
I would hate to be the reason why my brother cannot get married. I wish that I had not seen what I saw, but I can't keep quiet about it. What would you do if you saw something that would ruin your brother's life? Would you keep quiet for the sake of peace, or would you tell them the truth? I just know that I made the right decision, even if most people will not agree with me. Well, I'll tell you for what I did and what I decided to do. For now, I'll tell you the situation so that you can weigh in, and in my line of work, I've gained a desire to always take other people's insights into consideration. It always helps me make better choices, but this time it's not for a blog, it's for my brother's life. Let me start by introducing myself. You can call me Mal. I'm a professional blogger, and I live with my brother Andrew and his fiancée Alyssa. They've been together for over 3 years now, and the three of us get along very well. Alyssa's kind, caring, and always attentive towards my brother. When they told me that they were getting married, I was over the moon. I thought to myself, ugh, finally, my brother can start a family of his own and just be completely happy. It also made me feel a lot better about the news that I was going to tell them. I got offered a travel blogging position by a well-known travel agency. I've been in two minds about taking the job because I'm not sure if I wanted to leave my brother alone. Sure, he has Alyssa, but they're not married, nor do they have any kids. But when he told me that they were getting married and going to start a family, I felt less guilty about leaving. It's always been me and Andrew in this house before Alyssa arrived, and our parents passed away 10 years ago and they left this house for us. We've always been each other's keepers, and we've never lived far apart from each other. Even when we were in college, we made sure to still stay at home, even though it was 30 minutes from campus. When he brought Alyssa into our lives, I was skeptical. I did not get close to her for several months as I observed her. I wanted to make sure that the woman he loved was good for him. With time, I began to trust her, and she started to become like a sister to me. I never thought she could betray me like she has done, and I initially thought that I was dreaming. I had to pinch myself several times when I saw her in the restaurant with a man who was not my brother. I was never in that part of the city. It was a more rundown part, but it had a lot of hidden gems, and I had come here to get some books from a thrift store, and just was heading home. I was absolutely shocked to see her there because she told me that she was going to be with Hannah, her best friend, doing some shopping. I tried to call her, but she just did not pick up the phone, so I messaged Hannah to ask her if she was still shopping with Alyssa. She confirmed that she was with Alyssa and that she sent me a selfie. Well, I was shocked as I realized that the clothes she was wearing in the picture looked like the clothes of the woman I was looking at. She kept on reaching across the table and touching this man's hand. Anybody looking would have thought that they were absolute lovers. The resemblance was uncanny. This woman looked just like her, so I decided to call up the restaurant. From the front, I could see her bag. Her hair was the exact same color, guys, and I just wanted to get closer, but I did not want to alert her of all of my presence. So I stopped to think about the best way forward. Was I going to confront her right then and there and just make an absolute scene? I didn't want to embarrass her like that and make her upset. I still cared about her after all, and I would never want to do that. I don't want to insult her by questioning her honor, so I decided that it was best for me to leave and question her later on. That would be more respectful than confronting her. So, guys, I ended up leaving and going about my day. When I got home, my brother was not home, and I decided to make some lunch while I caught up on some emails. Not long after that, Alyssa came back home, and she had a few shopping bags with her, and the same clothing as that woman. I asked her how the shopping trip with Hannah went, and she said, "Oh, it was amazing." I then told her that I had seen a funny thing that I was, saw when I was out doing my errands. She asked me what it was that I saw. So I tell her, which part of the city had ended up in just to see her reaction, and she looked away from me for a second and asked what I saw. I said that I saw a woman who was wearing the same outfit as her in a restaurant. Well, she said, that's funny. Maybe it was a coincidence. I then asked if it was not her. Did she maybe have a meeting with a client there? She asked me what I was talking about and would not look me in the eyes. This did little to convince me that she was innocent. I then asked her if she met with some man in a restaurant earlier that day. She asked how I could suggest that. She said that she was with Hannah and would provide proof if need be. Well, obviously, I did not respond. Instead, she stared at me with her hands on her waist, glaring, and after a while, she took her things and started to head to her room. I noticed something as she was leaving. Her engagement ring was not on her finger. Something was going on, and I had to tell my brother, but how could I tell him that I thought the love of his life was cheating on him? I hated that I had to be in that position. Maybe I could just shut up and trust her, and I decided to think about it for a few days. I kept on analyzing what I had seen in my head, and I kept on trying to figure out a way that this could work out of her being innocent, but I failed. I had to tell him what I saw and gave him the chance to make a decision. It was only fair to him. He was about to marry her, and I didn't want him to make the biggest mistake of his life. So, about 2 days after I confronted Alyssa, I tell my brother what I saw. Well, he said that he was going to talk to her and get to the bottom of it. He came back to me an hour later and asked if I ever accepted Alyssa. I said, of course I did, but I could not ignore what I saw. So then he showed me something that Alyssa sent him. I checked and they were DMs with her friend, confirming their meeting, and he then showed me the pictures that they took of the day. After that, he asked where my proof was, and I was ashamed to say that I did not take a picture of her. It just never crossed my mind to do it at that time. He tells me that the whole time he thought I supported them, but Alyssa had just been telling them the truth. According to her, I've never accepted the relationship, and apparently I've always taken it upon myself to remind her that she's not good enough for my brother. She feels unsafe because of how much I, quote, harass her, but she says nothing because she wants to keep the peace. I assure you that nothing of that sort has happened, and I see her as a sister, and have always respected her. Clearly, she's lying to protect her reputation, and I'm disgusted. I never knew that she was such a two-faced person. Now my brother's falling for it, and he's upset with me. He's not speaking to me for the past few days, and I feel so awkward inside of the house. Oh, I don't know what to do in order to fix these things. I just have no idea. Update number 1, 2 days later. Well, it seems that there's nothing that I can do to fix the things that my brother has just done, to kick me out. He snapped today and told me to leave him in the peace with his future wife. This came after I confronted Alyssa again. She had just gotten home and my brother was at work and I was doing some work by the patio when she came outside. She then asked me if I wanted some coffee and I said yes. I got back to doing my work and sipping my coffee while she stood there, and then she asked me why I did what I did to her. She asked what she had done wrong to me so that I would be rectifying this. I could not believe the nerve of that woman to come to me and act like she did nothing. So I looked at her and told her that I saw that she did not have her ring that day. I told her that my brother deserved better than her, and no matter how much he tries to manipulate him, Andrew will see her for what she is one day. I then asked her to stop playing with him like if she ever cared about him at all. She looked at me for a while and did not speak. And then she just walked away, and about half an hour later my brother came from nowhere and dragged me off of my chair. Well, he put me up against the wall and asked me how I dared to make his fiancée cry. Cry? She was not crying to get him to believe her. I said to Andrew that I told her that I did not see her ring that day. I did not see anything to hurt her. He told me to apologize and started treating her better, and I told him that I would start doing that when she starts telling the truth. Our bickering went on for quite a while. He asked me what I thought I knew about relationships when I've not been in one for 5 years. He tells me that he can make his own decisions, and he told me that he was getting sick and tired of the way that I was constantly butting my head into his life. He then tells me that he was going to marry Alyssa because she was the love of his life and would never cheat on him. Well, he then gets very, very angry and tells me to leave. I had no choice but to leave. Our parents left the house in his name since he was the oldest. He reminded me of that and tells me to leave, and I asked why he believed her over his blood, and we've been through so much more together before she was even in our lives. He tells me that she told me my little secret, that I was envious of what they had. I walked around acting like I was okay being single, when inside I was dying. He claimed that I made comments to Alyssa about how she would never replace me in his life. He tells me that he wanted to get married and start a family, and I was not going to stand in the way of that. I asked him where this was even coming from. He did not have to attack me like that. He told me that if I was not out of the house by the morning, he was going to really attack me. Well, I could see it in his eyes. He was serious about doing some serious damage to me just because I was telling the truth. I decided that there was no point in reasoning with him. I tried to save him, but he refused to be saved. When he finds out the truth, it'll be too late and I'll be too far gone. I guess I'm going to take the travel agency job after all. You know, he does not need me. He has a traitor Alyssa to take care of him. Update number 2, 2 months later. Hey guys, it's been 2 months since I last posted. I'm still alive and I'm doing well. I've been traveling for the past few months and it honestly has been amazing. I've met so many different people and experienced so many different cultures. I got back to my city 2 days ago and I decided that it was time for me to come home. I have some friends here that I wanted to see and the world was beautiful, but it was nothing like home. Honestly, I'm not okay at all. I'll say that some time away was good for me to get some perspective, and my brother said something that got me thinking. Once I was alone with my own thoughts, I thought a lot about my life. I'm nearing 30 and I've not had a girlfriend in over 5 years. All I've been doing is working on my career, and I guess I was just a bit too comfortable with how my life was and did not want to change it. I've decided that I'm going to fix this. I'm going to expose that woman to get her out of my brother's life. After that, I'm going to focus on myself. And I know that my brother can take care of himself. He has a mind of his own. However, he's blinded by love and trust right now. I don't blame him at all. I too thought Alyssa was an amazing person before I found out that it was all just an act. I was absolutely mad about how she managed to turn my brother against me. In all these years, there's never been a person who could separate us. We had our times when we fought, but we never stopped talking. Well, now it's been 2 months since I spoke to him. There have been times when I picked up the phone and decided to text him, but I fell short. It was an impossible thing to even greet him. I kept on seeing his face as he told me to leave his house. So, time has made me realize that I cannot give up. I must reconcile with my brother, and it can only happen if I expose Alyssa. I know exactly where to start with my investigation, her little, bestie Hannah. If Alyssa's smart, she's not going to see her other man in weeks leading to the wedding. She's going to be extra careful, and she would not want to mess it up. So I need to target Hannah. I always knew that those two were close, and I just never knew that they supported each other in cheating. She's going to be the one who helps me to unravel her best friend's life, and she has no chance. No choice at all. See, I know for a fact that Hannah has some skeletons in her closet too. For Alyssa to trust her in helping her cheat, it must mean that she's not as morally uptight as she makes herself out to be to the public. I'm going to get some very good dirt on her and make her help me out. After that, I'm going to expose Alyssa to my brother and he will dump her. You know, I hope to do all that before the wedding, and 1.5 months' time to catch a cheater. Update number 3. It can be interesting what's the most innocent and law-abiding people can hide. It's been 2 weeks since I last updated, and I found out some interesting insights on Alyssa's friend Hannah. I always thought Hannah was a goody two-shoe. She's married and she has kids with her husband and she's never cheated on him, and she seems to be a good enough daughter-in-law. Try as I might, I could not find anything incriminating against her. Her record was squeaky clean. So I decided to look into who she was before she met her husband, and I found something that was very, very interesting. When she was 18 years old, she changed her surname for her dad's to her mother's. She moved out of town and changed schools. She even changed her hair color, and she was never a brunette. She was always a blonde, and very few people knew about this. I had to have my PI dig very deep, and I almost did not find out the truth. But I had money to burn, and if it meant saving my brother from her friend, sure enough, my PI stumbled into something that can destroy her whole marriage and reputation. He questioned the people she was close to in high school to get this information, and it was something that she would not want her husband to ever know about. Guys, when she was 17, she fell pregnant and had a kid. Her dad was a priest and wanted her to give it away. He also did not want her around the house to ruin his reputation, so he got her mom to take her to another boarding school after changing her last name. Then they put the child in foster care. My PI managed to get hold of the records thanks to a friend of hers who had an axe to grind with her. We offered her some money to tell us what happened, and she was more than willing to sing like a canary. But she was a single mom down on her luck. Well, the great part, the fact that I know who her son is and where he stays. Her husband does not know about this, and from what I know about him, he does not tolerate lies. He's always bragging about how honest and loyal she is, and now I know I would be going very low if I were to expose her using what I know. I'm hoping that it never comes to that and she cooperates, and I think that she loves her family a lot and would never want me to blow her cover. It would pain me to do that to her, even if she helped my sister-in-law to deceive us. I'm just going to have to stick to what I know and hope it pulls through. Anyone in the world would choose self-preservation if they were given a choice. I'm waiting for my response from her, you know. Well, I sent her a message telling her that all I know about her, and I told her that if she did not meet with me tomorrow to find out what I wanted, I would send the information to her husband and then she could deal with him. She's been packing and sending many messages since I sent my message, and I do not feel good about it. But she has given me no choice, and I need to catch my sister-in-law in a lie before she ruins my brother's life. This is the worst part, and I know that they're not going to sign a prenup. I would be damned if my brother married her and lost all of his money. Updates number 4. Hey guys, well, I just wanted to let you know that Hannah has decided to help me. It did not take a lot of convincing. Well, when I met her, she was literally sweating and asking me whom I told about her. I told her that I would tell no one as long as she helped me expose her friend. I also needed all the information she could give me about the man that Alyssa was seeing. She said that she would do anything to help me. She was not about to lose all she worked hard for because of Alyssa. She then said that she had warned Alyssa against doing this sort of thing, but she did not care, and nervously she tells me to give her instructions on what exactly she needs to do next. So I told her to send me any proof that she had of her friend's relationship, and she did. I then told her that she had to do one last thing for me, and then I would be off her case. She was more than willing to do it, as she really wanted to keep her own past buried. It's an amazing thing that people will do to preserve themselves, isn't it? I told her that she was going to contact Alyssa's boyfriend. The guy has no idea that Alyssa was getting married, and he cared about her a lot and knew that her birthday was coming up. She would use that to gain him, just so he would be recording a video saying that Alyssa means a lot. Hannah's job was to get him to say as many incriminating details as possible, and she would claim that she was getting everyone who was close to Alyssa to say something in the video. After that, she was going to send the video to me, and it was up to me to do something with it. She said that she could try, but she was not really that close with Alyssa's other boyfriend. She had only met him a couple of times, and the only time she talked to him was to lie to him about Alyssa being with her or being busy with something when he could not contact her. That led me to ask my next question. Why was she staying with my brother when she was in love with someone else? Hannah could not look me in the eyes for a while, and I told her to tell me the damn truth. It was not going to change how I felt about anything. Hannah said that Alyssa was more attracted to the new guy but preferred the security that my brother gave her. She's been seeing the new guy for over a year, but, well, he was not giving her the security that she needed. I laughed when she tells me that, so she was using my brother as a placeholder for a man who did not want to act right for her? Are you kidding? Well, I was going to get my brother out of her clutches so that she could not use him. It's time for us to put the plan in motion. I'll let you know if I succeed, but I'm very confident about things. Hannah did not disappoint. 2 weeks later, I got the evidence I needed to get the worm out of my brother's life. Hannah came to deliver to me personally, and she told me that Alyssa does not suspect a thing. She also tells me that the wedding rehearsal is going to be in a few days' time. Well, I thanked her for the help and handed her everything that I had against her. I kept absolutely no copies, and it's up to her if she decides to tell the truth or keep things to herself. There's nothing much that I can do. Update number 5. Hey everyone, it's been a whole week since I last posted and today was the day. Today was my brother's wedding rehearsal and the first time I saw him since he kicked me out. Well, I was not invited, just as I was not invited to the wedding, and he made that clear when he kicked me out. I decided that I was going to tell him what happened in the less public manner. I didn't want to tell him on his wedding day in front of oh so many people. I just didn't want to do it. There were not a lot of people at the rehearsal, just the bridesmaids, the groomsmen, and the officiator. So, when I came and everyone looked at me, they were all shocked to see me, and I was not sure what my brother told them, but clearly they were not expecting me. I went straight up to my brother, who was standing in front of his bride Alyssa, and when she saw me, she told me to get the hell out of here. I was not invited at all. I told her that I did not come here for her. Well, I wanted to speak to my brother, and she then said that he did not want to hear anything from me and that I should leave before she calls security. But I looked in my brother's eyes, and I could not read his eyes, but after a while he said that we could talk. He escorted me to another room where he just had the two of us. We asked each other basic questions, and there was silence. He then asked me why I never told him I was leaving town, and I said that we fought before it happened, and I also told him that I never planned to leave before his wedding. After all had happened, I was in a lot of pain. I did not want to give up on him just like that. After a lot of thinking, I decided to soak in everything, and now I just wanted to show my findings. It was up to him if he wanted to marry her after that, and to my surprise, he was very open to showing of the stuff that I found. He said that he needed to see it with his own eyes, and clearly this was something that I was never going to let go. So I showed my brother the truth about the woman that he chose to marry, and I watched as his little heart broke. After he finished looking at all the proof I gathered, he stood up and exited the room. He went straight up to her and told her the truth. She tried to act ignorant, so he played the video where her boyfriend was talking about how much he loved being in a relationship with her and how she was very special to him. She then had the nerve to say that I must have paid an actor to say this. So then I pulled out all the pictures that Hannah shared with me of the two. She had gotten them from her under the guise of including them in the birthday video that she was making. Watching her face fall as she realized that the gig is up, she took a step toward me and was about to attack me. But my brother restrained her, and he told her that she had to go back home and pack her stuff because he was done with her. He was not going to marry a woman like her. She tried to beg him to understand, claiming that she loved him only, but he didn't listen to her. Right then, she looked at Hannah and accused her of being the one who told me everything, since she was the only one who knew the full truth. Hannah tried to deny it, but Alyssa said that she was going to reveal Hannah's secret to her husband. That's when Hannah wished her good luck with that because she already confessed. Well, I was shocked that Hannah decided to tell her husband the truth, and guys, Alyssa stormed out of the wedding rehearsal extremely embarrassed, and I was still watching in the doorway, unable to believe that I finally revealed the truth, when I felt a hand on my shoulder. When I turned around, my brother pulled me into a tight hug. He tells me that he was so sorry for not believing me, and that he wanted to thank me for saving him. I told him I promised I would always look out for him no matter what.
Alright guys, that was an interesting story, a lot of drama involved, but there is a comment that I want to check out. It got a lot of attention, and it says this. Well, that was a roller coaster ride. Who could have seen any of that coming? Thanks to OP's quick action and thinking, she was able to save the brother. He was able to do it in a timely manner before they got married. And, well, as for Alyssa, has she no shame? She lied and schemed to get what she wanted with absolutely no remorse. Someone like her does not deserve to be married. Unfortunately, there's so many people like her out there in this world. And at least one more cheater was exposed. Now, the brothers can go back to their normal lives, and it's also appearing that there's hope yet for OP's life. Guys, that was a very positive outlook, and if you could give any advice to OP, what would you give OP? Drop it down below. Let's talk about this. Thank you for joining me on today's video. I hope you enjoyed the story for today. My name's Mr. Reddito, and I drop a story every single day. Guys, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, and of course, remember, don't forget to subscribe, and it's cool to be kind. Peace.